Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I wanted to do a Final Fantasy XI video. Now there's a lot of precursor to that, but it's going to be a long video anyway, so let's take some time to talk about it. So back in November, there was the 15th anniversary free login. It was the 15th anniversary of the PC version of the game specifically. Now this May, just last month, was the 16th anniversary of the PlayStation 2 launch. Now whenever they do anniversaries, they do free logins, but during the November login, the day before, I decided to pay for a sub because I didn't really have anything to stream at the time. Forgot to cancel that sub. Turns out I've been paying for a Final Fantasy XI sub for the past 5-6 months without even realizing it. And as such, when the free period ended in May, I decided to keep playing and keep working on my character that I use to revisit every time there's an anniversary. Now, while I was doing that, I had some people who have watched me do the anniversary streams over the previous months. They asked me if I wanted to do some modern endgame stuff in Final Fantasy XI, something called Omen, which is what I'm going to be showing you in this video today. Now, I just want to say, my character by no means belongs in this content. It's under-geared, it doesn't have as many job points, which is something that's pretty crucial to the characters. It doesn't have the right weapons, it doesn't have the right setups for my puppet, because I'm playing Puppet Master here. Everything's wrong, my character doesn't belong in this content. So it's literally a hard carry, just so people could see what one of Final Fantasy XI's current endgame pieces of content. So in this video, I'm going to describe to you what Omen is. I'm going to show off the run that we did. We actually did 3, but I'm only going to show 1 right here and just give you an idea of what it is they did. Because if they took the time to include me in their run, which is literally dead weight, then I at least owe it to them to show people the content that they wanted me to show them. So what is Omen? There's a lot of little things you need to know, although ultimately it is a pretty simple concept. Omen is level 99 endgame content designed to be done at item level 119, technically higher, but I'm not going to get into the semantics of the way that Final Fantasy XI's item level system currently works, because that would be a whole nother video. It requires completion of Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, which was their, and I'm going to quote this, farewell expansion, I suppose. It was when they said they weren't really planning on doing any more story content, and Rhapsodies was going to be the finale. That's changed since then. They've continued to update it even after their so-called finale, and they may even see more story content going forward, but you need to complete that Rhapsodies of Vana'diel in order to even enter Omen in the first place. Once you've done that, there's an NPC in Ryzenjima, the final area of Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, and you can get a mystical canteen from them. You can get one of these entry key items every 20 hours, and the NPC will hold up to a maximum of 3 of them. If I'm not mistaken, you can grab one from the NPC and not use it, and then he'll generate another one, so you can technically save up 4 to use it once, but again, semantics. Once you've gathered up your party, you can go in solo with trust, or you can go in with actual people, which is definitely the preferred method for getting anything meaningful done inside Omen. Then you go in with your group of 1 to 18 people, and your goal is to complete the main objective of each of the rooms while climbing up to a final boss area. Upon entering the first room, you're given 10 minutes, and each time you complete a floor, you'll increase the timer up to a total of 50 minutes. Now, upon landing on a floor, which usually have set enemy layouts, like the first floor is always the same enemies, the second floor is always the same. It's the third floor and on where it can vary, but it's still somewhat consistent depending on what path or what boss you're trying to tackle eventually at the end. So your goal on each floor is to complete the main objective. So that could be something simple, like on this first floor, it's kill enough of the certain enemies, or kill the transcendent enemies, kill the Sweetwater enemies, kill a specific enemy that's hiding that you don't know which one it is. Just do whatever it is that the game is asking you to do, and it's normally just kill something. The big thing about Omen, though, is not the main objective of each floor, it's the additional objectives that become available on the non-boss rooms. Now, the earlier floors have less objectives, while eventually you will hit a large room that has many, many objectives. These objectives scale with the party size, but the maximum size it will adjust to is 6 party members. So even if you have 18 people, the additional objectives only scale to 6. So it can get a little hectic still trying to complete them with so many people around, but it doesn't get any more difficult after the 6. What these objectives are, you'll find out as soon as you pull the first enemy, or aggro is obtained on the first enemy on the floor, whichever enemy you decide to pull first. At that point, it's going to list you a bunch of objectives. It could be perform X number of abilities, it could be perform X number of magic bursts, it could be do a certain amount of damage with a single ability, a single weapon skill, a single magic burst, and it's going to give you these objectives, and it's going to give you a time limit in order to complete them. So what most parties will do is they'll just try to complete every single objective, and usually they have setups with which they can obtain these things, even the particularly high magic bursts or skill chains or or weapon skills, you generally have setups to guarantee that you can actually get the right amount of damage, the right number of skills, the right number of magic bursts, any of those things. Now, completing these objectives causes several things to happen, but probably the most important one is every 5 objectives, both main and additional, you get a job card for your current job, and this is used to upgrade certain armor in the game. Specifically, the old AF armor, upgraded to level 99, and then +1, +2, +3. You need the card specifically to get it to the higher levels. So every 5 of these objectives, you'll get a card for whatever job you're playing. And this counter apparently saves between entries. So even though, like, I think the first floor is 1 main objective and 3 additional objectives, which is only 4 objectives, you'd think you wouldn't be able to get a card on the first floor. Because it saves between objectives, you can actually get a card on the first floor. And you just farm these cards up and you'll use them to upgrade the armor. The other thing that happens while you're completing these objectives, I don't think it's tied to them directly, I think it's tied to certain enemy kills, but you get these things called omens, which apparently, even after all the time Omen has been out, really don't seem to have any directly visible effect. The wiki lists a current theory, it lists an old theory that used to be false, but I don't think anyone knows for certain what omens actually do. It doesn't really matter, you still want to complete as many objectives as possible to earn those job cards, so whatever they do, if it's a positive thing, then groups are already getting it and probably won't notice anyway. So you have the first floor enemies, you have the additional objectives. You finish what you're doing there within the 10 minutes, you move up, your time limit goes up. Second floor, very similar thing, just different enemy types, whatever objectives they give you. You finish those within the time limit or don't, and then move up to a third floor. And when you're moving up to a third floor from the second floor, you'll have the option to follow a smaller or larger light. The smaller light skips directly to a large room with lots of enemies in it, similar to what the fourth floor would normally look like. We'll come back to this because it's a little confusing. What the majority of groups will do is follow the larger light, which leads to a mini boss room. And the mini boss room is one of 3 random creatures from the old Chains of Promethea Promethean areas, the emptiness creatures. Defeating whatever mini boss it is required to progress up to the 4th floor. They each have their own loot tables, and then, that's it. That's what your goal is for the 3rd floor. Now, when you're going up to the 4th floor, it actually gives you the options of what enemies you'd like to fight on the 4th floor. This is not just something that you do out of preference. Whichever enemy types that you choose to fight on the 4th floor will also determine what boss you will have on the final floor. Each of the bosses has, again, their own loot table. They have usually a unique mechanic that makes them stand out from one another. And they also give you a key item acknowledging your defeat, or acknowledging you defeating them if you do successfully defeat them. Now, going back to if you chose the smaller light, obviously you come to the big room on the 3rd floor instead of the big room on the 4th floor. On that 3rd floor, again, you complete the objectives like you would any other floor, but instead of just ending or going to a mini boss room or anything like that, you'll be given the option to go up to what is basically an ultimate boss room. Now, this boss room, the boss's name is O, is only available if the party/alliance member who entered Omen has all 5 of the key items from the other bosses from the other wings. So you need to have at least one of those, and all party members will lose all of their key items upon entry. So you really want to make sure you're planning out when you're going to do this and who you're actually bringing so you don't waste too many key items. So O, the boss, basically combines the mechanics of the other 5 Omen bosses and uses them at set HP intervals. In the Omen run you're watching, it actually is a run to go fight O, and you're going to see me die countless number of times by the end of this video. One thing is that his attacks happen at set HP intervals, but his HP is actually hidden for most of the fight. I think it only becomes briefly visible at like 55% when he gains a level and powers up. This is actually bypassed completely by third-party software called Windower, which people always use to see the HP percentages of enemies. So it's a mechanic that is silly, but also completely irrelevant because people always use this third-party software to see the HP percentage anyway. So just keep that in mind. Now, you fought the bosses, you fought the mini-bosses, whatever it is you're doing inside of Omen. After the Room 3 or Room 5 boss, it can only come after Rooms 3 or 5. It cannot come after you defeat O, which is technically on the 4th room. Sometimes the party is also teleported to a bonus room with a bunch of treasure chests. These can contain job cards, Omen items, sometimes even additional mystical canteens, which was the key item you needed to enter, which lets everyone get an immediate re-entry into Omen if they really want to. Now that I've explained all that while we've just been going through some of the stuff that happens in here, I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out. You're going to watch me be an idiot, not have any idea what I'm doing. Like I said, I really don't belong in this content in Final Fantasy XI, but these people took me along. They wanted to show the people who I was live streaming to what the current endgame looks like. Obviously, from my perspective, it doesn't look nearly as exciting because they're all destroying things and, you know, doing the objectives, and I'm just like trying not to get in the way and dying a lot. So, you know, thanks again to Just and the rest of the people in the group for allowing me to take one of the empty spots. Apparently, they just had an empty spot, which is why they took me along in the first place. And for taking me along for 3 runs at that. I got plenty of job cards, and that'll come in handy when I'm trying to upgrade some of my artifact items all the way up to +2. I think that's specifically what I have enough to do at the current moment. But anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for watching this Final Fantasy XI video. If I do any other, I guess, of the recent content, and if you want explanations like this of what they are, I'd be more than happy to do them. I have that sub going, and it's actually been kind of therapeutic for me. A lot of you know I went through some pretty tough times recently, and something that's just low intensity like this has actually been pretty good for me. So actually big thanks to Final Fantasy XI for coming through for me in actually a really hard time in my life. So enjoy the rest of the video, check it out, watch me be dumb, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. All right. Other people get to attack. Oh, God. Well, now I'm asleep. How much damage does that weapon skill do? Oh, no. Yeah, Omen's got great music. And I'm getting merit points. You get merit points, capacity points. That's some pretty decent stuff. 24. So these big floors are where there's just a ton of objectives. All right, what haven't we done? 6 skill chains using weapon skills, 30 weapon skills, 18 magic bursts, and then it's all big dick damage. And there's 30 weapon skills. Alright, I'm not touching transcendent mobs. Leave those to the people who do the big dick damage ones. All I do is follow the team. Oh, it's a 6-step weapons. Oh, okay. It's not... Okay. Also, one of them has to be a magic burst, and one of them doesn't have to be a magic burst. I'm just not going to touch this thing.
Hey, how you doing? You doing alright? I'm doing alright.
You have executed 6 weapon skills. You have reduced your foe's HP by 13,000. Oh, that's kind of stupid. Oh, man. It's so light in here all of a sudden. Alright, what haven't we done? 18 magic bursts, which they're probably going to do here. Why does the puppet not count for objectives? That makes me so sad. Is my puppet asleep? Now he isn't. I guess I can still kill the Sweetwaters. Since the remaining ones all require a lot of health, I'm assuming that killing Sweetwaters is not a big deal. Dude, even for me, it's not that realistic. Like, I mean, actually, that's not true. During a one stream, I can pretty much get most of them done. I will say this, though. If the last thing you do before you go to bed is grab a Remnants permit, it gives you 2 the next day. Even if you don't have time to actually do the thing. Alright, they did it with a single weapon skill. Well, we're going to be doing O when we get there. Hey, another Puppet Master card. I'm getting things. Last time I did this, I don't think I got a single card. I think they still have 1 Magic Burst left to do before they're done. Okay. Alright. I see how it is. I like how there's an objective team and then there's me. I can't think of a better way to put it. There's people who are important and then there's me. It's a good way to put it. I'm gonna say, is my puppet just not gonna give a fuck? Or is he gonna actually do something? He did something. Hey, what's going on, Andrew? How you doing? Hey, listen. I knew I was going to be dead weight when I came in here. This isn't news. Alright, now they're doing the Magic Burst ones, where they get a shit ton of Magic Bursts. With, like, really low tier. So what they're doing right now is, one of them is to perform a certain number of Magic Bursts. And they have to use, in this case, 18 Magic Bursts. So what you do is you make something that has a light attribute that doesn't do as much damage, like Fusion, which is what they're doing right now. And you just cast Dia. You just spam Dia on it to get the Magic Burst credit. Also Flash, any sort of light aspected spell that doesn't really detract from its health would count. Take care, Dewar. And now they're going to do 30,000 damage with a single Magic Burst. Dude, you got to do Mario Odyssey, and then you got to do the Dark Side of the Moon. I demand you do Dark Side of the Moon. There's 60 seconds remaining for them to complete their charge. I don't know if we're going to get this last objective. They're going to try one last time, I think. Looking for one more Transcendent real quick. Oh, they got 10 seconds. I do not think that's enough time. You have failed to reduce your foe by a single... Alright, well then I guess we could just murder these things. Dude, that Fudo is pretty dope. By the way, that sword is pretty dope. What happens, you just get less rewards. If you don't get all the objectives, you're missing out on rewards. Take care, Kyoka. Thank you again for the resub. I think we go right from this floor to O, don't we? What's going on, Curry? How you doing? Woo! Hey, another Puppet Master card. That's 3. That's 3 Puppet Master cards. I got them now. Hey, listen, Crisplosion, I have some +1 samurai stuff. Take care, Bill Stein. Alright. Thanks, Just. Good news is... listen, I'm gonna be standing at max range with my fucking puppet, and that's it. Alright, let me Google some of this guy's mechanics. His name is... Okay. So let's see. All participants will have Omen, lose all their Omen beads, blah blah blah. Single target magic, tier 4 AoE magic, enfeebling magic. At 95%, he uses Ebullient Nullification, dispels, absorbs all buffs. 75% uses Unfaltering Bravado, Conal 10,000 damage split amongst targets hit, which cannot be mitigated by any form of damage reduction. 65% uses Chain Spells, 60% uses Dancing Fallers, which is 2,500 damage to everyone in range. Oh no, it does damage based on the number of people in range. So if you have more, so if it's one person in range, it's 2,500 to that one person. If it's 10 people, it's 25,000 damage to all the people inside of it. At 55%, O levels up, and the HP bar becomes visible. Also, it's going to be invisible, alright, until 55%. At 45%, uses 0 hour AoE magic-based throat stab, hate reset, and 60-second inhibit TP. 30%, O's eyes light up and enable the following attacks. 11th Dimension inflicts a 3-minute terror on the target it was performed on. Changes the primary target on the aggro list until Gardes is used to prevent this move. O's next move will be Interference. If hate is pulled quickly from the player target was used on, we'll use Interference from this point onward. At 15%, uses AoE terrors that last 6 to 12 seconds, and at 10%, gains 10% of his HP and will recover to 100% HP in 30 seconds. This must be defeated within 30 seconds of using the last 10%, or it'll heal to full. So in other words, I'm gonna go nowhere near this encounter. Hey, I got 3 Puppet Master cards. Good spot. In other words, I will go nowhere near this boss. Oh, really? It's alright, Just. I think I'm fine from here. I'm glad I got 3 Puppet Master cards. That's not even remotely enough for what I need, but it's something, right? Yeah, just so you know, by the way, his HP's not visible until 55%, but with Windower, you can still see what the percentage is. People did that back in the day with Ixion also, just to know what HP Ixion was actually at until you broke the horn. Alright, so here's what's going to happen. They're going to go over there, and I'm going to stand right the fuck here. The only thing, they probably want me to move in for the 10,000 damage split. I don't know if they want that, or if you could just use the summoner pets for it. I'm not even going to send my puppet in, dude. Yeah, 75% all in front, 60 at least 10 yards out, 45 hate reset, 30 get hate off 10s. Alright. It looks like we're doing all in front based on the strat. It says 75 all in front. That's not pleasant. I'm assuming that was the attack. They were doing too much damage. Well, that's not good. It's at 60%. Remember, just leave me dead. I'm worthless. He's in chain spell mode now, I think, yeah? Crowned was like, sorry, I hit Fudo, and it went from 80% to 60%. That's a great way to describe that. Sorry, I hit Fudo and it went from 80% to 60%. Alright, he just leveled up, so he just hit 55%. That's an interesting way to describe that situation. Weak is one way to describe that. Listen, I helped split the damage. I've served my purpose. Don't waste MP on raising me. What do you need me for? I guess for the end Zerg. For the last 20%, I guess I'm still kind of valuable. I doubt it, but, you know. Oh, is this the tank aggro skill? Isn't his HP supposed to be visible at this point? I feel like I was lied to. Alright, you know what I'll do? I'll just stand right here. If Kentax is standing in front of me, I'm going to consider myself in safe range. And by safe range, I mean technically maybe dead range, but safe. Oh, okay. That's weird. That is... DG Wiki did not go into that, Just leave me down. I deserve this. Oh! Ken, I trusted being where near Ken was. Now we're both dead. Why me? Why waste the MP on me? I'm not worth it. I'm gonna stand back a little bit more, because if they're standing back here, I trust that it's acceptable to be back here. Someone just waste MP on... No, never mind. Thought they legit wasted MP on me. I don't want to be here. I see where these... Again! Oh, he's swapping parties. Yo, Lobo, if you can just get to full health, I'll de-summon you. I'm only weakened for 3 more minutes. Oh, he's at 15%. So at 10% is when the Zerg begins. So damage needs to stop. No more. No more damage. Hello, Kashka. So, I have another solution to this problem that's being presented right now. If I had Windor, I could see the distance, and I would know if I'm out of range of that shit or not. Just saying, it's a factor. I don't know why people waste MP on me. I ain't worth it. Yeah, don't worry. I'm just here to die for the loot. Icon color. I'm colorblind. I'm gonna assume you mean whether it's the color it is now or like whatever the other color is. I'm assuming there's only 2 different colors it could be. Trust me, I ain't weapon skilling at all. They're probably, I think they're just waiting on the weaknesses that aren't mine. Oh, bust. Listen, Puppet, I'm not gonna even bother doing anything with you until I'm unweakened. Because if I use a repair on you and then die immediately again, life is not going to be great. I'm actually amazed you haven't overheated from the number of commands I've issued after summoning you in an unsound state. What's going on, Kuro? How you doing? Listen, don't worry about my weekend timer. Somebody's got 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Worry about theirs. Yeah, but I'm just spamming dark maneuvers, so... I still figured that I would, well, I'm spamming the same 2 maneuvers. I figured by now he would have overheated. Now I have cooldowns, so now he's fine. I was a little scared there for a second. I thought I saw him heal himself. And I was like, uh-oh. That would have meant that things are going real bad. You're not taking... tank. There he is. Look at that tank. Look at him. Welcome back, Curry. Firaga 4. Oh! Where's Kentax? He's right there. Wait, that was... Alright. No, never mind. He went unweakened. I thought he got hit by the Firaga 4. I was like, what? Welcome back, Fallon. Hey, nice, Fallon. At least the music's really good. I've got 45 seconds left. I will only auto-attack during this boss. No, it's a camera. I'm no longer weakened. I did it! If only I was less shit. I guess that means I get to go in and attack too, as long as I don't screw up all the weapon skills and everything. As long as I don't screw up any skill chains. Let's go! I have enough TP to do a weapon skill, but I'm not going to. Especially because I can't see. Oh. Oh. Okay. And look, the ring. The Regal Ring. That's a fucking nice ring. That's a fucking nice ring. It is not mine. I am pressing the pass button on that one. None of this is mine. I was just along for the ride. So how rare is that ring? Best weapon skill ring for any job. I mean, I can tell strength, dex, vit, agility, HP. It's got everything. Well, all the stats.